everyone. I'm very happy having Renate with us today. Just thank you, Renate, to be with us during this solidarity sessions. Can you first introduce yourself, Renate, please?
So my name is Renate Nyborg. I'm the General Manager Europe for Headspace. We're one of the first meditation apps in the world, and today we're a leader in mindfulness and meditation.
First, and it was, I think, the first week or the first few weeks after the pandemic started, you have decided to give access to the application to the healthcare workers around the world. So can you tell me more about this?
Headspace was really founded with a mission at its core to bring the benefits of meditation to those around the world. And, you know, meditation, of course, was started as a spiritual practice 3,000 years ago, but today it's really one of the most powerful tools in helping your mental health and also supporting you with things like mental resilience, avoiding burnout, and so on. So, frankly, the second that the crisis really started to take on, we wanted to make Headspace available to as many people as possible throughout this. And so the first two really big things that we pulled together as a team, and this was really a weekend's work. We're very grateful for our staff who all kind of really put in their own time for this, is one, we created a collection called Weathering the Storm, which is still available today, where we made a lot of the content that is available in the Headspace app that can specifically help with this period of time, available for free anywhere in the world. But one of the most, I think, profound things we were able to do was we worked with the French government, with the NHS, and also with the in the UK, and also in the US with the AMA, the Association of Medics in the US, to make Headspace available for free.
When you started this conversation with the NHS or in France or in the US, that was pretty easy to convince them that they would have access for free to the app. It was just in a day, in 2 days. Tell me more about how easy or hard it was to convince those people.
So we started this program in the US. We've been working with the AMA for a very long period of time. Unfortunately, the medical profession is one of the most stressful professions in the world. You're dealing with people's lives day in, day out. And so for a long time, we've actually, some of the, Headspace is known for investing in the clinical validation of meditation. And so we'd actually worked with this association to run a number of studies already. So they knew the power it had, and so they were able to provide us this access very quickly. We had already been talking to the NHS for longer, so that, it's still getting access set up for 1.2 million people in the UK was quite a bit of work. And the last program we rolled out was in France for more than 500,000 healthcare professionals here too. I'm based in Paris. And the beauty was that the French government actually had a very sophisticated directory for people, but it wasn't particularly easy, but I think there was incredible goodwill and support in all these countries.
How many downloads, how many people, how many health workers have you been using the app?
It's thousands and thousands, I can tell you that. Since the beginning of the crisis, since mid-March, we've seen our downloads more than double worldwide. One of the big sources of these downloads have indeed been healthcare professionals.
And I know you've been just working on launching almost every week new programs during the crisis and still now. Can you just explain maybe briefly what you have done in a city I love for obvious reasons, New York? And you have launched a new program called New York State of Mind. Can you also share more information about this? Is it still live now?
Absolutely. Yeah. So Governor Cuomo contacted us directly. I think he's really been one of the people that has been, I think, very outspoken and very proactive in terms of providing support to the people of New York, also one of the most affected areas of the US. And so we worked with them to build a specific program called New York State of Mind. So anyone who's based in New York, we're able to target them based on their location, and they're able to get access to content that we've specifically curated for them. So if you're based in the US, just search New York State of Mind Headspace and go and check it out.
And do you think, Renate, with your remit in Europe, do you think you can bring this to London or to Stockholm or to Brussels or to Paris? Is that something you have in mind?
So I think at this point in time, luckily we're all post-lockdown, but I think what we're really seeing is the impact that the crisis is having on people afterwards. Even though we're allowed at the house again, which is a big thing, we're allowed to see our friends again, thank God. I think we really see that there is a remaining impact in terms of the stress and anxiety that people feel. One example of that is just the engagement that we see in the app. So since the beginning of the crisis, we've seen that there's been a 70% increase in people taking part in group meditations. So actually joining the app at the same time as other people, even virtually. We've seen a 110% increase in people adding buddies, so people to meditate with and share what they're doing within the app every single day. And so, I think what we're really focused on is how can we do the maximum for people's health and happiness all across the world. And of course, we're a technology company, so we're really focusing in on that.
After the post-lockdown, as you explained, you also offered to have access for free to the Headspace Plus in the US for unemployed people. Everyone was lost her or his job in the US can now have access to the app for free, right?
That's right. Anyone that's currently out of work is able to go through a verification process on our website and get access to the app for free. We've also actually created new content specifically for people that are out of work right now to help them find confidence, find focus, and really get ready for finding the next challenge.
Can you share with us the one you prefer doing?
I'm going to give you two. The reason being, I want to tell you about one for families. I think there has been a very specific experience for people that have been at home with children versus people that have been not at home with children. Children also have big feelings, and we're very lucky as adults. We've learned all these words and expressions to kind of express that. And kids don't even know the questions to ask necessarily. And so I have 3 stepkids that are under the age of 10. And with them every evening, I do something in the app that's called Good Night. It's in the kids section. And we go through basically their body parts, and we say good night to all their body parts. So we say good night fingers, and good night shoulders, good night toes, all the way down. And it's remarkable the way it calms them down, but it also always creates a moment and a space for them to just kind of switch off, be really present. And this is when they've really opened up to me and told me things that during the day they're just trying to distract themselves. So for anyone with kids, that's number 1. Good night in the kids section. Number 2, we have a specific single exercise that's called mindful cooking. And I'd recommend it because it's, cooking at home has been one of the biggest trends. Everyone is now cooking at home. That will continue for a while. And what it does is, through the fact that you're cooking and it helps you be mindful, it helps you be present and aware, it takes a moment that you're already doing during the day to provide you with that moment of mental calm. That would be my recommendation.
And question about you, Renate, during this lockdown and COVID crisis, have you started something during the quarantine that you still do now?
I started playing the piano again after many years. I used to play the piano as a teenager, and I just hadn't played for many, many years. And for me, it's really become something, again, where I can just take a deep breath and take a moment for myself. And playing the piano is very logical. So, yeah.
Do you think you have time after the end of this lockdown to keep playing, even with your crazy life at Headspace?
I'm going to make time. If there's anything I've learned in the years since I've started meditation, it's incredibly important to make time. I think it's where we're in this life where it's easy to feel guilty about taking time for yourself. But I've really learned over the years, it's so important to be kind to yourself. If you're not kind to yourself, it's difficult to be kind to others. And if we're not kind to others, what are we doing?
Thank you, Renate, for being with me during those solidarity sessions.
Thank you very much, Alexander.